Is it working? Any minute now. Okay, okay, and then embiggen this quickly. Forgot something important. Unbiggen this, do this. That's good. That's fine. Alright, turn this off. That was the sound test. We're going to listen to this. What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Impossible Game Challenges Daily. That's a lot of racket from in there, isn't it? I need to turn down the turn down the volume just a skosh. Let's just knock that down. And let's knock that down a little bit. Maybe some of that? Oh, and I've broken it. You'd love to see it. Embiggen, go. Will this work? There it is. Let's go. So, I left this idling for a while, and you can see there's a whole bunch of guys in there now. Because they all spawn because it's dark in there, obviously. This is the guy we just heard, so I'll take those. I embiggened this storage room just a little bit. It's still kind of a mess. I also added up here this thing. So the idea here is that when I would hit the button, water would come through here. I can hit this to spit a feather in there, and when the feather comes out, we know it's done. I'm a little concerned about the number of guys in there. I did run it a little bit, so I have 2 already. Do I have wood somewhere? Am I stupid? Oh, it's up here. Let's make 8 bowls. That's fine. I was thinking I could make some slabs instead, but I don't really care. There we go. Soup has been eaten. Let's put the bowls away. I need to reorganize all my crap a little bit. Here's leather. Let's make a chest for leather. And then I'm thinking I want to kind of move sort of far away from the base and then back so that we can despawn all these guys. This will be leather. No, that's minecarts, that's minecart rails, that's wood, leather. There we go. Let's make armor. I'm wearing a very, very old Minecraft shirt with the crafting recipe. It's the one that's like a blue shirt with the recipe for a diamond shirt on it, you know? It's a nice shirt. It's very old, so it's super worn out. But that kind of makes it nice. Wood is in this one. I want to make more tools. We'll do another pickaxe. We'll do another shovel. We'll do another axe. Could do 2 stone swords. I have the crappy wooden swords. They're not going to last very long. We'll do that. And now this song is way quieter. Let me fix that. There. And we're back. Okay, it worked that time. Fantastic. Torches. Need more of those. I meant to idle and dig a bunch of wood and logs and stuff to make charcoal. I didn't do that. I didn't do much of anything, to be honest. Okay. There's 1 plank in here. I could use that to make the bowls. Oh well. Let's see. So the way this works is we use the 1 plank to make 1 charcoal, and then that to make 8 charcoal. So give me that, and then we make 8 charcoal with that one. And then we use the 8 charcoal to make 64 charcoal. That's stonks. I doubled the size of the mushroom farm. I can't remember if I mentioned that, but that's why there's this weird lip here, is because I made it too big and it spilled into this room. So I should have gone a little bit further down to do the storage room but whatever. Oh, and I added these glass walkways up there, and the thought on that is it keeps the trees from getting so big I have to jump in order to dig them, because that's really annoying. So you see, these trees are all pretty short. That is by design. Did not need to break that leaf. That was a rookie mistake. Yeah, I meant to come in and sort of do this while idling. I didn't do that at all. Oh, and I wanted to put a door here. Should go get a door. And we need to replant the trees. So do that before I forget. There's a lot of wood up there, but it's going to be annoying to get to. Because I need a bunch of ladders, and to get up the ladders I need a bunch of wood, so it's kind of like a... I need to self-generate some wood, you know? These can go in here. We do have 4 more dirt. I could extend the farm a bit. Could be worth doing. Wood goes in here. And then these go here. There we go. I only have enough torches, though, to add 2 more trees, so I'm not sure that's worth it. Also, I wanted a door. Let me check if I already have a door. I don't think I do. No. Okay. And so we go over here. There's no point to this door because I'm never going to go over there. I just think it's funny to have a door. It's getting dark. Hey, I'm pretty sure that you're a bot. But thanks for the viewer, I guess. Oh, and I moved the bed into the corner so it's not like quite so in the way, but it's still pretty in the way, but it's not like quite as in the way. Give me a second. I want to... This one's a little louder. Adjust that down just a skosh. And it's come back. Let's go. I could build a big bridge over to the mines area. I don't think it's worth it at the moment. Extending the tree farm wouldn't be the worst idea. Oh, let me check if the coal's done cooking and move that over to the other chest in order to have more of it. I already did that. Good work, everyone. Like, I could just make this platform extend all the way. I don't love that it would block the sea access. Though admittedly, I kind of feel like it's not the worst idea for me to build bridges to every island anyway, which would be like a massive drain on resources. But you know, if I fall out of the boat, I just die instantly. So maybe making bridges is the way to go. Move around here. I don't need this, do I? Yeah, knock that out. Knock this out as well. And knock this out as well. Oh. That was a bug, I believe, where if there's a spawner nearby, this one, even though it's sufficiently bright to not spawn mobs, the game doesn't realize it for a second right after you dig a block. I believe that's what happened there. Here's my stupid pathway. Let me down. There we go. Why are these here? Give me those. Oh, was that blocking water? That was probably blocking water. And down my stupid staircase. Great. I'm gonna take these. Do I need them? No, certainly not. That is almost all the room I have anyway. That's crazy how much just junk was in those. Alright, let's take some planks. Nothing back here. Anything under the stairs? Like, it kind of looks like there ought to be something under the stairs, right? Or that maybe I'm losing it. There's nothing under the stairs. But now we know that. But I've just freed an inventory slot for a new pickaxe. Now I'm thinking I want to collect more stone. Because stone's always useful. And more sandstone wouldn't be the worst thing, especially if we want to build giant bridges everywhere. Ideally, we find coal. I don't know. This dungeon has iron in it, and it probably has coal in it too. But it's also a very difficult dungeon. But I feel like I can cheese most of it by doing like this and not really engaging with the intended path at all. Which is kind of a boring way to play, but it is effective. So I can add this little lip. That'll keep spiders from getting up here. There we see some anthies over there. Those are the monster enemy that exists in this version and gets removed in the next version. And they're very scary to get jump scared by, just like that skeleton. Let's do torches every 3 until I run out. You can't turn off the spawning of the anthies with light. So the only way to turn them off is destroy the spawner. Or at least like plug it up, you know? I think they're coming from a hole in the ceiling. So we can probably schmoove our way up into the ceiling and get them. Let's try to do that. That seems like a good plan. Also, I like this torch placement more. Oh, nice shot. Yeah, there, we just saw one spawn. And it's from a little hole, like over there. So I'm gonna see if I can tunnel up into there and either clog it or break the spawner. Kind of the plan. And gather more blocks as always. Let me check something. Excellent. And I'm still in it too, good. Okay, so 1 and bam. And slab. It's gonna be a little dodgy to judge the distance I need to travel, but we'll figure it out. Or we won't. You know, it's fine either way, really. Oh, my inventory's full. Let's slap down one of these chests and just store some junk. There we go. Now we can gather the blocks. Okay, so there we go. Can I F3 and see them? I bet that's them right there. Looks like I need to go a little higher even. So I didn't need to break that. I do need to put that there. And then slab here. And then knock some of these out just for consistency. More than anything. You'll know by now I love consistency. There's a spider. Me when I kill you. Looks like over there. So what's real dodgy about what I'm doing now and digging into the monster spawner is, again, I cannot turn them off with light. If I get close enough to where they can spawn, then they can spawn in my little tunnel. There's too many of them, they're stuck. I don't think they can parkour civilization around this corner, but just to be sure, let's not give them the chance. There's the spawner. Hey, it's good. I found an anthe den. So that's what we're looking at now. You see the spawner's back there, but I can't quite reach it because there's too many of them in the way. Yep. The classic Minecraft moment here with just, you know, a spawning chamber full of anthes. So what's going on here, I think I talked about it last time, is this is a mob that is only in... Well, it's not only in this version, but I believe this is the last version it was in. And I believe it's just called the Monster. But it just uses the player skin and sound effects and stuff. And what's real tricky about them is you can't stop them from spawning with light like you can with every other mob. Well, not every, like pigments you can't, but yeah, so they will still spawn even if it's lit up. So what I'm doing here is I went straight to the source and destroyed it. So that will prevent them from spawning, which is good. That's a good thing. Can I take all these cobwebs? We gotta have cobwebs. There's a spider. You know when I get you. Alright, let's get out of here. I also... So, now I'm gonna leave, because I should be getting far enough away to despawn all these guys. I don't want to deal with them. After the stream ended last week, I spent some time and I dug out another half to the mushroom farm. So it's exactly the same... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just called Monster. It's like some Herobrine shit, isn't it? Yeah, so... The song is louder than the other ones were. I dug out more mushroom farm, and so the design that we made last time, I just copied it and made a second half of it. So now we should have twice as many mushrooms. And then... Can I... The other? Nice. Oh, and I put these glass bits above the tree farm so that the trees can't grow to where they're so tall that I can't reach them from the ground and I have to jump to get them. Or since I can't jump, like place a slab and then mine the tree and then destroy the slab and it's a big pain. So that's what those are about. But when I was extending the mushroom farm, it broke into this room, so that's why there's this weird lump here now, because I just covered it up. Let's see. I've also invented this, which I put a bunch of crap items in here, and so I can hit this button, and it spits out a feather. And then when I activate the water for the mushroom farm, once I get the feather, I know that, I know it's processed the whole system. Right? It's good. If I hit F3, you can see there's a whole bunch of guys hanging out in the mushroom farm, because it's very dark in there. So, so of course they're going to spawn. 1 second, I'm going to fuck with the music a little bit. Are we back? We're back, let's go. Okay. I also embiggened this room just a little bit. This little storage room that I've made. I put in this cool window underwater. So that's neat. Here's my sandstone chest. Here's my sand chest. Wood is in this one. And then we know minecart rails and minecarts. I put leather in this one. This one's gonna be for cobwebs, I think. That seems like a really useful thing to stockpile, so we'll go ahead and put those in there. And this is for like everything else. Why did the music end? This one's gonna be for flint. That seems like another useful thing to stockpile. Oh, it's just quiet. Okay, and then we put that there. Let's see, and then crafting table goes there. So as you can see, we got a feather and we got 4 brown mushrooms. So no red mushrooms grew, but we grew 4 brown ones. I don't know why no red ones grew, because half of the thing is red and half of the thing is brown, so there should be like the same amount, but hey. I would go show it off, but we'd have to deal with all those guys, so I don't want to. Unfortunately, the really bad mushroom farm, I think you're right. I think you're onto something. The really bad mushroom farm is unfortunately going to be like our main source of food on this one. I could fish, but like I'm not doing that. My time is not valuable at all, and my time is still, even that said, my time is too valuable to just be wasting it fishing in Minecraft. So yeah, we're gonna just wing it. It'll be fine. I did realize though I can extend. I have some dirt, and we're definitely not going to get enough dirt to make a like proper like wheat farm or anything. So I'm going to put that into the tree farm, I think. And then I need more glass and cobbled stones. How are you doing? I've been playing a bunch of like Pokemon Showdown random battles lately, and it's like, that's good to hear. It's like when I win, it's really fun, and when I lose, it pisses me off, and I lose way more often than I win. So it's like I should probably not be playing this. You're so right. That's the true win con, is to make the classic dirt hut first night survival Minecraft. You're absolutely correct. All right, so 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Coach Z 1 2 1 2. And then dirt here. 1 2 1 2. Dirt 1 2. 1 2 1 2. I still don't know why the water texture is fucked up. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to be like animated. But for some reason, whenever I do a texture pack, I fuck up the water, and I don't know why. It's the same with the lava. That's why lava always looks weird. I have no idea what I've done to it, but I fucked it up somehow. And then embiggen this. I might not have brought enough sandstone. That's crazy. Right? And like I would fix it if I knew why it did that, but I have no idea. So, but you know what? It's been like that for the last like 5 maps, and so it's not going to change now, right? This is fine. It's just a big hole in the. that. Oh no, it's not fine. I need to put a. There. Perfect. And then sapling it up. And then we need the glass. So the idea with the glass up here is, like I mentioned, to keep the trees from growing so tall that I can't reach all the way up the tree anymore. I might have the glass 1 block too low. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's fine, whatever. Also, I don't have a way to leave from this one. Ooh, I could though if I knock these 2 out and we put that there. There we go. Problem solved. At some point, if I get enough dirt, this little tree garden platform thing is gonna just extend over there anyway. And then we'll have to ride the boat at all, which would be pretty handy. Given that the boat is, you know, if I ever lose the boat, we die. So, a little bit dodgy. Alright, sand, glass. I haven't got everything in the downstairs storage yet, so there's still a bunch of stuff in the up here, but that's fine. I'll grab some more sandstone and some more slabs. Let me make more than 3 slabs, actually. We might need to jump more than 3 times. You're absolutely right. And I do have spare boats. They're right here. So if I was smart, I would just always carry a spare boat. Because yeah, the big problem is, like, if I go out to one of the islands and start adventuring, and then I break the boat, I have no way to get back because I can't swim. Let's spin this round. That you're so right. You know, when it's time to get serious, that's when you bust out materializing the Imperial fleet. Stop. I also figured I can avoid taking the mysterious damage if I get out of the boat and stand on it and then walk off. So that's pretty handy. I think we've gone far enough away to despawn the guys. Also, I can't recall if I flipped the lever to turn the mushroom farm off or not. But, I mean, I don't really care. That's fine. Obviously, this is long before they invented hoppers, so I have no way to collect the mushrooms other than just stand at the end of it and grab them with my hands. So, it's a very manual process. Let's see if they've despawned yet. It's about how far away you get from them. Looks like we're good. Those are probably just natural spawn zombies. So I'm playing this dungeon in a super lame way. Because I'm just going to kind of bridge around the side like this. No way. Because if I try to actually play this legit, we will die. So we're doing this. Legit as in, you know, sort of actually like following, you know, trying to follow the intended path down there. I'm adding this extra lip of sandstone. In theory, that is going to keep the spiders from climbing up and over the roots and getting onto this ledge. See, he's stuck on the little lip. If they're real clever, they can get to me anyway, but, you know, that's fine. This is just me being greedy and just digging extra stone for no reason. Oh, there's red mushrooms over there. I kind of want to go get those. We'll do that later. We gotta focus on business first. But yeah, it's like I'll play around, and like when I win, it's like great, I'm the best. And then when I lose, I'm like, man, I'm so mad. And it's like, oh hey, you wanna, what you doing? And it's like, since I lose way more often than I win, it's like maybe I should just stop playing this. This one's a little. Hey, give me a sec. I'm just gonna turn this down just a skosh. I also started playing Terraria. I mean, I've played Terraria before, obviously, because like, who hasn't? But I'm very, very on-off with it. But I saw a video that got me wanting to play it again, so I gave it a shot. It's pretty fun. I'm not any good at it, like at all. But that's okay. I want to say at one point there was an attempt to make a super hostile map in Terraria, but it was really bad. So I don't think that caught on. I like it. It's fun, but it's nothing that is like life-changing. I don't know. It's almost similar to Minecraft in the sort of way where it's one of these games where it's like, I mean, you might as well play it, but nice miss. It does a couple things I really like, and a lot of things I'm not really a big fan of. It's obviously it's a lot more actiony than like something like Minecraft is. Like Terraria is not really a Minecraft like. Like it kind of looks like it ought to be one, but it's much more of like a adventure action kind of thing that just happens to have you can dig up blocks in it. Look, hey, what's up? But especially, you know, back when it came out like 10 years ago or whatever, there were a lot of comparisons between the two that I feel like were kind of unwarranted. I really like the music. It has really good music. I would say my favorite is Boss 2, which is the one that plays when you fight Wall of Flesh or the twins. Ow. But I think there's either was an update or is going to be an update or something. It's also very funny because They've had the the final update ever like 4 times now. Like they can't help themselves from updating it more. Ow. There we go. Take that. Anyway, so either there's going to be an update or there already was an update or something. I'm not sure. That is adds like unique themes for every boss, which is super cool. That's all you need, honestly. I will. That's all you need. That's the full experience right there. You've already got to the best bit. Drop down. We're taking fire like a lot, but I think I can just about move through here. Let's get a torch up there. I do have a bow on me, so I should be shooting these guys. But you sort of like this dungeon as like the second dungeon when the first one had 2 spawners in it. Like, look how many guys there are. Like, I can't deal with all this shit right now. Oop. And this was recognized because this dungeon got nerfed a lot in a update to the map. I believe the reason it's so aggressive is because, we've talked about it before, there is nowhere else in the world mobs can spawn. So they all spawn here. At least in terms of like the starter chunks. So you're dealing with like if the dungeon only had the mobs that spawn from spawners, it'd probably be fine. But it doesn't only have, it also has all the natural spawns, and there's a lot of natural spawns. It's kind of I think that's what's going on. So nerfing it in the updated version basically involved making a giant empty cube nearby that you're never supposed to go to. But the giant empty cube diverts a lot of mob spawns, so that it's not quite so aggressive here. I should probably leave since I'm about to die. But it's not like I can heal back up anyway. Also, why is there water here? Does that mean something? Let's go check it out. Oh, there's also a glowstone. I bet this means something. Let's discover the secret. Oops. Give me that back, though. How am I hitting the sandstone? What? There we go. Right? It's great. But yeah, you dig a giant empty cube of space underground somewhere that the player's never meant to go to or interact with in any way. And it diverts mob spawns off of the parts the player is meant to go to. And there you go, balanced. Oh, okay. So this was a complete waste of time, and there's just water here. Nice. Give me back my ladders. I believe they're called honey pots in like map maker lingo. Okay, this is really a bad idea. But if I can smooth my way around and get those red mushrooms, I could combine them with the brown mushrooms we got from the farm and actually have food to eat, which would be amazing. Me when I get you. The question is, can I do that without dying? Oh. So we want to go this way. Quest for soup. You're so right. I think we got it. Gimme. Okay, book it. We got the soup. Get out of here. Go, go, go. We've talked about because we talk a lot about like modding and stuff, like with Into the Breach or Keep Talking Nobody Explodes. We talked about Smash Up, right? Like the card game. I think you're familiar with that game. Yep. Get out of there. Because Smash Up is like my brother and I's like favorite game. I don't know, something about it just super clicked with us. And so I was thinking about it. And we have both attempted to design like new sets of those 20 cards, you know? Because like every deck, you know, has the, you know, or almost all of them have, you know, you got your 10 minions, 10 actions, that kind of thing. And you know, there's a standard kind of distribution for it. And designing that actually reminds me a lot of trying to make like a Into the Breach squad, because like a well-designed smash up set does not mean make all the cards really good, right? Just like with Into the Breach, like if I made a squad where the guys all have attacks that do 10 damage each that hit the entire map, like that wouldn't be fun to play, because it would just there would be no effort involved. And it's the same kind of thing, because if you make your set of 20 cards and you just make them like, I'm gonna have all the minions are gonna be 100 power and all the actions are gonna say play 10 extra actions, right? Like that's not fun to play with. So it's really interesting trying to balance something to be, but also, and the other issue is to do a gimmick that nothing does yet, because they have a lot of sets that do a lot of gimmicks, right? So, and again, I think that is the same with Into the Breach, where you make your custom guys, but if they do the same thing that someone already does, okay, I guess the one exception to that is the Frost Titans, where they're just the ice set but way cooler. So, you know, point there, point against, but kind of in general, it's like you want to make it do something unique and different, but also it needs to sort of more or less align with the, you know, what the current like power level is, right? It's a fun challenge. We haven't done one in a while, but all the best ones, remember, all the best ones that we have that like work the best are made by my brother. All of mine are kind of really shit in one way or another. Right, because I think the reason I like Smash Up so much is that it scratches the collectible card game itch, but I don't have to actually collect cards or like deck build or like buy booster packs or any of that shit. Like I just get to just play the game and have fun. I think that's why I think that's why it clicked with me so good. Because I like the idea of like collectible card games, like, but having to like make the deck and like stay on top of the meta and all this bullshit just sounds like a giant waste of money and time and effort and energy. So but yeah, so and obviously they've made a lot of Smash Up sets already, and we have a lot of them. So trying to come up with a new gimmick that they haven't done yet is not always like, there's times where it's like, okay, what if we do a gimmick that's like XYZ? It's like, the reason that there's not one yet that does that is because this doesn't work at fucking all. That's the problem. My favorite one that my brother made, ironically, is also the first one. So like, you know, we started strong and then it all went downhill after that. Yeah, I would, if you put out a mod, even if it's only like a handful of pilots or something, I'll give it a shot. Like, even if it's not like a full squad or something, I can stick your guys in the, in whichever one, and then just see how it goes. Go. Okay, got that guy, nice. My favorite set that we've made is, my brother made it, and it is themed on Metaton from Undertale, like the robot guy. And the gimmick of, so all the minions are different forms of Metaton, and the gimmick is that they power up minions that are named Metaton, and you have abilities that let you name your other cards Metaton. And I think that's super funny. Like one of the actions is kit to make yourself more rectangular, and you play it on a minion, and it's like, this minion can't be destroyed and is named Metaton. That's totally fair. Yeah. I've had ideas for stuff where it's like, oh, it'd be cool to do, you know, XYZ. And they go, all right, how is that gonna work? And the answer is, oh, I don't have any of the skills I need to do. One of the, like, a lot of the time in games, a huge part of why I like the game is the soundtrack. and I don't know a single thing about making music. So if I ever wanted to make a game, which I don't because it's so much work, oh my god. But if I did, like, arguably my favorite part of the game I wouldn't be able to do. And obviously, you know, you can get, you know, call in help or whatever, right? Like, you don't got to do everything by yourself, but it's also a bit like, but I want to do everything by myself because it's my game. That's totally fair though. I made this Anthe Minecraft skin, so that's where my art levels are at. If you you know, if you need some really bad pixel art, I can hook you up. I say really bad. It's good enough to tell who the character's supposed to be if you're familiar with the character. So I shouldn't say it's really bad, but you know, I think it's really easy to shit on your own stuff, right? And be like, yeah, I'm not any good at this, like, at all. But I generally try not to. You know? Like, it's kind of a thing where it's like, okay, so maybe I think this thing looks a little bit bad, right? And so I want to say, oh, this is, you know, this sucks. It's the worst thing ever, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, okay, well, if someone... You know, let's say someone was watching this stream who also does, like, pixel art, and they think that, what the fuck is this part of the song? I've never heard this part of this song before. Right? That's exactly it. Is if I'm making the game or the mod or whatever, I want it to be, like, exactly what I want it to be, right? Like, I don't want to have to, like, screw around with, okay, well, you know, you think it should go like this, and I think it should go like this, so, well, yeah, I want it to be like, I want it to be my game, right? Except I don't have all of the skills to 100% make my game by myself, right? So it's like, well, I'll just not do it then. Which is, you know, that's certainly an answer you can do. But yeah, like you know, if someone's watching this and, like, they also do, like, pixel art or whatever, and they saw the Anthe skin, or like, hey, that's, you know, that's pretty good, right? Like, and then I go, oh, this sucks ass, it's really bad. Ugh. I don't know. I could see that being kind of like a, oh, okay, now I just feel bad kind of thing. I get that a lot when I see someone, like, post some art that's, like, really good or something, and they go, oh, this is just a quick doodle I did, it kind of sucks. And I know that shouldn't annoy me as much as it does, but I'm like, man, if this is just a doodle, like, this is still better than anything I've made ever, you know? One of those kind of things. I think it really comes to a head for me with the BattleBots crap I do, because I always want to say that my robot is, like, really bad, and compared to a lot of the field, I would say generally mine are in the, like, lower half of quality. But, like, if I go around saying about how bad my robot is, and then I beat someone with it, it's like, well, now I look like an asshole, because I've been saying how shit it was, and then I beat this guy. So, like, what does that say about theirs, you know? So, I try really hard not to do that. Ow. Okay, so what happened there was that skeleton had shot a ton of arrows into that block, and then when I mined the block, all the arrows fell forward and hit me. Very cool. I found the iron, by the way. It's right here. Houston, we have iron. I'm gonna stand back this time from all the arrows. Great. Anyway, just random sort of rambly thoughts. But yeah, I was thinking about talking about Into the Breach and stuff, and, like, actually balancing Into the Breach is kind of very similar to, in, you know, in some ways, not in every way, to balancing a Smash Up deck, where it's like, you know, you have your squad of guys, they do X, Y, and Z things, and you want them to do the things in an interesting way, but you don't want them to be so good at doing the things that you don't even have to think at all to do them. Okay, that guy just went off. It's interesting. It's really neat. Because I guess that's another difference from, like, a collectible card game. Is in a collectible card game, when I make my deck, I just want my deck to have all the strongest cards in it, and I want to win every time with it, right? Like, I don't want to balance it, you know? Am I out of music, or is this part just quiet? I'm not out of music, but this is the final boss. Oh, I might put on the Terraria soundtrack, actually. We can listen to that. I think I have that downloaded somewhere. Although probably it'd be faster just find a video of it. I'm trying to think if I've done any other interesting... I really like the Metaton gimmick, because I think... For one thing, I think it's super funny that name this minion Metaton is a mechanic that actually, like, matters and does anything. Because that's just really funny, just as a concept. Oh, okay, look at all those mushrooms over there. Oh my god, that's the Mushroom City. You see, look at this. There's red and there's brown. There's just so many. That's crazy. No way I'm going to get to them without dying, but, like, you know, the idea's there. Let me slap down some sandstone around the edge of this, because guys keep trying to shoot me, and I'd rather that they didn't do that. But yeah, I just think name this minion Metaton is an incredibly funny mechanic. And so each set, in addition to having the oh, here's an Anthe spawner. I did not realize this was there. Let's get rid of this before any of her spawn. There we go, problem solved. I got really lucky that she didn't spawn up here on this platform and just beat me to death. Kind of rigged. I'll take this. I don't need it, but I'm gonna take it. There's a wood over there I want. Oh, one that was I like a lot that we did. The set is not nearly as good. Hey, welcome back. Welcome. I was just rambling about our stupid Smash Up decks. Did you hear about the Metaton one where the naming gimmick? Because that's the best one. It's all downhill after that. But another one that my brother did is themed on Waluigi. And the gimmick of the Waluigi set is that he gets to play cards during other players' turns and, like, interrupt them. And it's a gimmick that you have to do. You have to be extremely careful executing this, because it's incredibly fucking annoying to get your turn interrupted. But the thing saving it is that it's Waluigi doing it, which is very funny. Let's see. Let's put on Terraria. There we go. Oh, hang on. Wait, this is wrong. This goes really hard. I don't know why I'm digging all this wood. I don't need it. This is the whole game. This is all you need from Terraria. You hear this? You've played the whole game. Yeah. So I like that one a lot, and I'm really impressed that, because so Smash Up just have one set that's kind of like a interrupt kind of set. It's got the geeks, and they have like one minion that's like, you play the minion's ability is like, you know, when another player plays an action, cancel their action and play this guy instead. And they have like one card that's like, it's like an action that does the same thing. And they have one that's like, when another player plays a minion, like you take over that minion for the rest of the turn. Like that kind of thing. Alright, I'm gonna not play this on double speed anymore. Let's I can't handle it. I any more double speed Terraria, I don't think I can deal with. There we go. I think it might not have shown. Are we back? There we go. I've just been mining iron, but I was fucking around with the Terraria video, so I don't think it showed up. And really, the geeks only have those 3 cards that are proper, like, interrupt cards. The game really doesn't do that a lot. But our Waluigi set does it quite a bit more. And I genuinely think the only reason that it is not literally the worst thing to play against in the world is because it's Waluigi themed. Like, if it was just some generic theme, I think we would have banned it already. Which is awesome. I don't know if you ever read it, but back in the day there was a webcomic called Brawl in the Family. And it is, he had a very... Hey, welcome back again. What was I rambling about when you cut out? I can back up and read. I can just give the same conversation again. Also, I did listen. I put on the Terraria soundtrack, and I did play I played Day at double speed, and it was a very good experience. You're absolutely right. Honestly, you hear that, and then like, you've played Terraria, you know? Right? Yeah. That pisses me off because it's like, man, you're saying this is shit, and it's 100,000 times better than anything I've made. It's like, oh, okay, I see how it is. Okay, bunch of minecarts and bullshit. Cool. Oh, bunch of pickaxes. This is just what I needed. Give me those. Beep. Let's turn the Terraria down a little bit. Did you hear me talking about the stupid... Yeah, I agree completely. It's like, send it, and then like, you know, if it's good, then, you know, there you go. And if it's not good, then you tried at least, right? I was saying as well, I get that a ton with the BattleBots crap I do. Because I would say in general, it's not unfair to say that my robots are usually in the lower half of like terms of quality at any event we go to. Like, there are going to be ones there that are better than mine, and that's just like not a question. It's just a fact. So it's I really want to talk up like, yeah, okay, my robot kind of sucks, whatever. But then the problem is, if I then fight someone with it and I win, and I've been talking all day about how shit mine is, it's like, wow, this other guy must really suck then. And you know, that's not great. And even that is, you know, it's one thing if it's like, you know, some guy who's been coming for forever and we fought back and forth, but like, you know, we fight all the time or whatever. And it's another thing entirely if it's like little Timmy's first time, and then there's someone there talking about how shit their robot is all day, and then little Timmy fights that robot and then loses. Like, little Timmy's not coming back, you know? So, I think that's real important to not down talk yourself when possible. But man, is it fun, right? But I think it's important to at least try not to, you know? And again, that doesn't mean I do a good job of not. It just means I'm like, you know, you get it. I was also talking a bit about, because you remember I was talking how Into the Breach and the smash up like custom deck things are kind of similar in that you're trying to design something where it's multiple pieces that work together and have an interesting gimmick that I'm not familiar, but that does that. If you want to link me that, I'll probably watch it tomorrow. But yeah, like with the Smash Up deck or with the Into the Breach set, like you're trying to design multiple things. I can't reach those that all kind of work together, right? And to have one kind of cohesive gimmick. And the gimmick needs to be interesting, but they also need to not be so good at whatever they do that playing them becomes brainless, because then that's also not fun. But also if they're if they're really bad, that's also just not fun because they just can't do anything, you know? I think that's even a bigger problem in Smash Up probably, because you're playing against someone else. Like in Into the Breach, I could absolutely see designing a squad that is on purpose really, really bad as like a challenge run, you know? Like, what if I took the Rift Walkers, sorry, and just made all of them do half as much damage, you know, something like that, like a challenge run. I could kind of see that. But like, especially in a game I'm playing against someone else, it's like, okay, I kind of would actually I'd like to be able to play the game, please. Right? So, did you hear any of my descriptions of the sets that my brothers designed for Smash Up, or did you cut out for that bit? Oh. Yeah, I could definitely see that being like a knock against them, where it's like, because I was saying, like, if I designed a set, if I designed it into the Breach set that, like, they all three of them had weapons that hit every enemy on the field and do 10 damage each, like, that wouldn't be fun to play, because every map would be click anywhere with one guy, he kills everyone, and then you're done, right? So, obviously that's a slightly extreme example, but yeah, and exactly. I think the one that I proposed is perhaps a very extreme example, but yeah, I think that intentionally and that's something actually we aim for too. Like, we've talked about it when we design a Smash Up set. I would rather it be underpowered than overpowered. Because if it's underpowered, you can like kind of buff things. But if it's overpowered, that means we had to like play a whole game where I just absolutely wiped the floor with the other player using a bunch of shit that I invented anyway. And that just feels really shitty. Like, oh yeah, so I made all these cards, and they're not really real cards in the game. I invented them all myself. And now we're gonna play, and oh, look at that, I won because I made the cards really good. So, the town theme is extremely loud. Let's turn that down. That's right. Ah, you see, in my hand I was holding a card that says special. Play when another player does literally anything. Cancel it, it doesn't work. Also put this card back in your hand. Also just like have 5 VP, just like for the hell of it. You deserve it. You should have expected me to have that card. Right? So. But yeah, so I think my favorite one we've made was, let me see how far. I think my favorite one that we've made was the Metaton one from Undertale, because I think the gimmick is incredibly funny, of powering up minions that are named Metaton, and also you have cards that let you name your minions Metaton. Yeah, and I was thinking about that too, because we were talking about that a lot. Like, it's one thing to make, a challenge, like, you've got a very specific kind of challenge that you're looking to make, and so you need to hit like a very precise kind of difficulty level to get that challenge that you're trying to make. Where it's like, and that's another one where it would be super easy to make a bomb that's like, you have 1 minute, solve fucking 300 things, good luck, idiot, and then you just can't do it and it's impossible. But that's not fun at all, right? To just have one that's so hard as to literally be impossible. And also, like, there's no point to that. So, yeah. And then, like you were saying, if you make one that is brain dead easy, or even one where it's you read off all the information, and then Android goes and does literally everything, and then tells you how to solve it. Like, that's also not that fun, because you're just sitting there doing absolutely nothing the whole time. It's really, I love, like, thinking about balancing things. I'm not any good at it. But yeah, so we have the Metaton one. I love the Metaton one. I say recently, it wasn't recent at all, but since it was the first one that we did, the numbers were kind of out of line, and sort of semi within the last couple years recently, we did a big rebalance to it to like kind of swap around some of the minions, give more of this, less of that kind of thing. And I think we definitely made it quite a bit stronger, but stronger in the sense of now it matches up with the real sets, and not like now it's clearly underpowered compared to the real sets, you know? So I think that was good. Another one that, did you hear? I think I mentioned the Waluigi one that like does like Waluigi's gimmick is interrupting the other players during their turn, which is an incredibly dangerous gimmick to use because that gets miserable to play with so fast, right? Like, that is a terrible idea. Like, what if I just made it so that when the other guy was playing, you could play also and just like fuck them over? And I think the only reason that it's as fun as it is because it's Waluigi themed. So like I think if it was like an official set and it was like some generic theme, like we would have banned it because it'd be so annoying to play against. But because it's like Waluigi screaming and shouting, it's funny. Yeah, exactly. And I'm actually really shocked that my brother was able to get it working. I think a big part of why it works, at least in my opinion, is most of what he does to interrupt is like, so like, you're taking your turn, right? And then Waluigi goes like, "It's Waluigi time!" and just like plays a guy. But it's not, most of the time Waluigi doesn't stop you from also playing your guy. He just also gets to play a guy. And I think that helps ease up the damage a little bit. Because at the very least, you still get to do your thing. He didn't stop you from doing your thing. He just jumped in and did his thing first. But also, genuinely, I think it helps that when Waluigi interrupts you, he plays like Wario. It's like, oh, Wario's here, you know? And that's way funnier than if it was just like some generic minion. But I'm very shocked that works. One of the real gimmicks that they added in, so there was, I want to say it was one of the expansions that like the themes were like community voted on, and the themes they added in this one were samurai, cowboys, ancient Egyptians, and Vikings. And usually they add like one new gimmick per expansion. So in this one, the cowboys and samurai sets had a new gimmick called dueling, where like you can start a duel, and then one of your minions will duel another minion. And then the way a duel works is like you and me are in a duel, and we both like will play one card, like one action card, like face down, and then we reveal them at the same time, and then both the actions affect, and then whoever's minion is stronger after the actions fire, they win the duel. And then like the card will say what happens to the winner. Like most of the cowboy duels are like kill the losing minion, right? And then like that kind of thing. And so first of all, the cowboys' whole thing is that they start duels and then they power up. They have a bunch of cards that let them power up during a duel so that they will win the duel. And then usually they just destroy the other minion. And okay, that's fine, whatever. They're not great in my opinion, because while most of the other sets don't have specific answers to dueling, there's a lot of ways that you can like force cancel a duel. Like if the minions end up not on the same base, that just cancels the duel and there's no winner. So any set with move cards can just like leave, you know? So I find that they're not good enough at the thing that they do for it to be worth doing the thing, more or less. So I think the mechanic's cool in theory, but I don't think it's great, you know? And then the samurai are really weird because they're almost set up to where they're designed for you to lose duels with them and then benefit in some way from the minion going to the discard pile. Like they'll have like, when this minion goes to the discard pile, draw a card, or they'll have like play an action, and then it's like choose a minion. When that minion goes to the discard pile, all your other minions gain +2, like that kind of thing, which is interesting. But there's only one other set in the game that can start a duel, so them being able to lose duels and profit from it is a little bit too niche, given that there's only one other guy that can even do that. So I feel like they're not very good either. But one of the sets in this set was the ancient Egyptians. And it's like, okay, they should definitely be dueling themed because that'd be like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like that'd be super funny as if it's Yu-Gi-Oh themed, and so they duel, and it's like it's a card, like this works, right? And you know, obviously they wouldn't be like actual Yu-Gi-Oh cards because copyright, but yeah, you could get close. You would get it. But they didn't do that. They're not Yu-Gi-Oh themed, which is extremely disappointing to me. We're guessing the reason they're not Yu-Gi-Oh themed. Yeah, absolutely true. And with their because like I said, they tend to introduce a new gimmick in every expansion, and so sometimes the gimmicks just kind of don't click, or the gimmicks would click if everyone could do it, but since only this one guy can do it, like there's no point. Usually they get around that because the expansions have 4 sets in them, so you at least get 4 guys who can all duel. But this one in particular, like I was saying, is weird in that. So like the other 2 don't. Interesting. Yeah. So is it the kind of thing where like you have to, like, if you're using the expansion, use like here's a whole bunch of shit, do all of it. Yeah, because Smash Up's designed to be playable. Like if I only had if I bought the base set, like the oldest sets, and then only that, and then the one like newest set that came out, like they should be able to play together in theory. So it is a difficult design problem for sure. The Vikings don't use dueling at all. They were also in the set that had dueling. Their gimmick is like stealing cards from the other player's deck and from their hand, mostly from their deck. And they have a couple of cards that are like, you know, this many gains plus 3 power or whatever, that are clearly like intended to be like, okay, well you can use this in case one of those other guys duels you. But they don't interact with dueling at all, which I think is a real miss. New units and powers and that is actually really cool. that's really cool. And then finally there's the ancient Egyptians. And I was like I said, it's like, oh, they could be Yu-Gi-Oh themed, right? Because like ancient Egypt, Yu-Gi-Oh, that sounds really cool, honestly. But they didn't do that, and we kind of hypothesized the reason they didn't do that is because this was one of the the fans voted on these themes kind of thing. And so if the fans voted for ancient Egypt and they got Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe they would be disappointed. I also kind of feel like there's an argument that maybe they voted for ancient Egypt like because Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know. I don't know how popular. I don't know how associated those two are for people who aren't stupid. But the point is, the Egyptians have a completely different gimmick, which is burying. You can bury cards. And when you bury a card, you put it face down on a base. And then at the start of your turn, you can uncover one card. So you flip it over. And then, if it's a minion, you play it on that base. If it's an action, you play it, that kind of thing. It's not a bad gimmick, but literally only one guy can do it. It's only the ancient Egyptians. So no other set is able to meaningfully interact with buried cards because they don't know that buried cards exist. So I feel like it's a little bit of a miss from them that they did multiple new gimmicks instead of just one that could actually have interesting interactions. Later they did add a new, in a one-off special feature set thing, they added a skeletons set that also uses burying. So I was happy at least to see that they used the mechanic again, that someone else got it. But it definitely felt like a little bit of a miss to sort of spread the resources so thin. But the reason this whole long-ass rambling story, the burying mechanic involves placing your cards face down on a base. We added a mechanic that puts cards face down on bases before they did. We already had a set that did that. Yeah, and I think you're exactly right, is that with the base set and then the first couple expansions, I feel like they more or less did everything that you can realistically do with the game as it was at the time. The one that added power counters was really big, and they still use those. That was a really big. That was a big one. I'm glad they invented power counters. I would like to see them do madness cards again, because there's only 4 sets that use madness cards. But I feel like they're not going to do that, because then they'd have to print more madness cards and put them in. Because the power counters are easy, because they already have to pack in the VP tokens anyway, so just use those, it's fine. But with the madness cards, like, they'd have to print another deck of madness cards every single time that they want to use the gimmick. Speaking of madness cards, we tried to design a Bill Cipher themed set that used madness. And the gimmick was going to be that he would do really powerful shit, but then draw like a lot of madness cards to balance it out. Because there are sets that use madness, like, the one that's like the worst is like, you do something good and then draw a madness card, right? So we were going to have him do like really crazy shit and then draw like 5 madness cards. And it's just, and that ended up not working out for a variety of reasons, mostly because it was impossible to balance, do really crazy shit, and then just like take some penalty. But it did mean that we made our own set of madness cards with the like the big pyramid thing he turns into in like the last episode, you know? And they look really fucking cool. And I think I like our madness cards more than I like the real ones. Anyway, but so we invented a set that used a put cards face down on a base mechanic before they added one. But ours works differently, so the two don't work together at all. It's like, we were here first, though. But our one that does that is based on this like old Sega Dreamcast game called Illbleed, and it's not a good game. But the main gameplay of the game is that you're in this like haunted amusement park. Yeah, like you're right, exactly. It's here, do a whole bunch of really powerful shit, and then we'll try to figure out like exactly how much that needs to cost to be balanced. Yeah, that's it too. Is do something super strong and then pay a cost is the like for the other player, you're still doing something super strong, so they still kind of get fucked over, right? And yeah, that's a lot of cores. Yeah, so like, if you know, to the other player, like, you're still doing the really strong thing. Like, I don't know, if it was like a kill every minion on the board kind of thing, right? Like, you still get to do that. They still lose every minion they have. And then, you know, you draw 5, you draw 10, 5 to whatever, you draw however many madness cards after, but it's like, but I still didn't get to play all those guys. Yeah, that's fair. And I think a lot of things are like that, where no matter how weird and fucked up it is, like, there's probably something to appreciate about it. Like with those, like, even if, you know, maybe actually the how it plays wasn't that great, like, design-wise, like, the fact that they got them working is super impressive, right? Yeah, so our upside down cards set mechanic was based on a game called Illbleed, which is it's an old Dreamcast survival horror parody kind of game. That sounds super fucking cool and also super fucking busted. Like, that sounds really cool. But like the Boomerang, but like 10 times better. Are there guys? So the main gameplay of Illbleed is that you're in this like haunted amusement park, and you have the trap scanner. So you will look around and try to find where, like, you find places where there's going to be a jump scare, and then you sort of mark it with your scanner, and then like defuse the jump scare, and then you don't get jump scared. And if you get jump scared enough times, your character fucking dies of, like, they have a heart attack. So, like, that's the main gameplay of Illbleed. So, to incorporate this into Smash Up, we invented trap cards. The game that this is based on is called Illbleed. ILLBLEED. And by we, I mean just my brother, because I didn't help with this at all. But we invented trap cards, which are actions that you play face down on a base. And then when another player... So basically it was, if another player plays a minion on that base, they play the minion, and then activate the trap. Like they set off the trap, right? So you have to flip over the trap card, see what action it is, do whatever's on it, that kind of thing. And then when you, the player playing the Ill Bleed set, put a card on that base, you can choose whether or not to activate the trap. Because since you put it there, you know, like the lore is like you know where the trap is, so you can choose if you want to just blunder into it or not. And sometimes it was beneficial to activate your own trap. Like you might have one that's just like play an extra minion. So you're like, all right, I'll just to play guy here, and oh look at that, I get to play an extra minion, that kind of thing. Anyway, but so the problem is that with their buried cards mechanic, there is not really any way outside of like, you know, just remembering or using a sticky note or something to denote, you know, this card is a buried card versus this is a trap card, that kind of thing. And they work completely differently because like when they activate is, again, you know, the one activates when you play there, the other one activates at the start of your turn. But I really like it. I do think that set missed the boat a little bit because we intentionally balanced all the trap cards to not be that devastating, because it wouldn't be very fun to like you flip the trap card and goes, all of your minions die, fuck you. Right? So they're all kind of, I want to say the only trap card that destroys minions is specifically you know, if the minion that triggered this trap is the only minion on this base, destroy it. So it's like very guided. Now, you know, there is another card that is, you know, move every minion except for the one that triggered this trap to another base. So if you get both of those on the same base, then you're cooking. But like for the most part, we didn't want it to be like, oh, you played on my trap, fuck you, you know, because that's not very fun. So they ended up kind of being a little underpowered because none of the traps are meant to be super devastating, right? Okay, why is there sand here? But yeah, I thought it was funny that we got there first on deck where the gimmick is putting cards upside down on bases. Oh yeah, half of the fun of doing Smash Up custom decks is shit like the game absolutely was not meant to have this as a feature. Can we make it work as a feature anyway? So like that's half the fun, honestly. And sometimes the answer is no. It's like, no, I can't make this work as a feature. This is too out there, and it does not work. And that's fine, you know, you take this sometimes. I tried to do one themed on Kirby Planet Robobot, and specifically themed on the villains of the game, the Haltman Works Company. And if you're not familiar, Haltman is basically Dr. Eggman, but in Kirby. So obviously I'm a big fan. And the idea was going to be that, because the whole game is about like how they are, like they arrive on like Kirby's planet and just start fucking sucking up like all the resources like everywhere, right? So what I wanted to do was basically have ways where Haltman could sort of go ahead and extract a bunch of victory points from a base early, like before it scores, but then when it scores for less points, that kind of thing. It kind of worked, but not really. It needed a lot of help, and I wasn't quite sure where to do it. The most interesting thing I managed to do with that particular set was the 2-power minion, which was the robot armor suit from the game. And so I gave it the ability to, so like in the game, obviously, you know, when Kirby pilots the robot armor, right? So that was part of the problem, was that you couldn't, like if you were playing a set that couldn't answer it, and you decided to play on a base, and then I played a Haltman card there and like sucked up some of the VP early, fuck you. right? Like, you couldn't do anything about it. And the other thing was that in order to prevent that situation, like I said, we tend to try to, if we're going to miss the mark on balancing, we want to be under. So I intentionally made his effects fairly weak, where it's like, you can get a VP now, and then when the base scores, everyone gets one less, like that kind of thing. So obviously that's not great. Like, I would rather have all the VP than not get all the VP, but usually one is not enough to like sink you. I don't know. So it was a neat idea, but I think it's one of them where you kind of do it and go like, yeah, the game really wasn't meant for this. This doesn't quite work. And you take those sometimes, right? But yeah, so the 2-power minion I designed was the robot armor suit. And so like in the game, when Kirby drives the armor suit, because obviously Kirby can like power copy stuff, and so when Kirby's driving the robot armor also gains. Why is the boat out there? Get back here. When Kirby's driving the robot armor also gains the ability to power copy stuff. So I made the robot armor minion card. Okay, well now I just have 2 boats that are just in the middle of nowhere. You know what? Let's just not worry about it. So there is a card in the game, the Copycat, in the Shapeshifter set, which is, it copies the ability of another player's minion when you play it. Yeah, I don't care. Boats are cheap. We're just gonna that one's just dead to me. But in theory, it would be leapfrogging back. So I didn't want the robot armor to be a copy of Copycat. So robot armor has the ability. So one thing with Copycat is it can only copy minion abilities of other players' minions. I can't have it copy my own guy. I kind of wonder if the reason for that is so that you can't get in a loop where I keep copying a Copycat's ability forever, which would achieve nothing. But like, I don't know. They tend to not like infinite loops, I get the impression. So I made the robot armor, and also the other thing with the Copycat is that it only has that ability for the turn that it's played. It loses that ability and then just doesn't have an ability at the end of the turn. So I made the robot armor a ongoing ability, so it keeps the thing, but it copies the ability of another minion at its base. But it can be one of yours, or it can be an opponent's minion. Yep. Copycat is pretty good, but it also requires a lot of luck in that hopefully the other guy played a minion that has a really good playdown ability, right? Like there's a lot of minions where you could copy their ability, but it's not going to fucking help you at all. So it can definitely be a little hit and miss. It's a fun one though, which is why I kind of wanted to rip it off, right? Like, look at all these guys. How am I supposed to deal with all this shit? I guess we can go up and over the routes. Anyway, so that was the difference on mine. Was number one, it was an ongoing rather than a single use ability. So when you play the robot armor on a base, it would copy the ability of another minion at that base. Number two, you could choose your own guys, not just the opponents, and that made it really interesting because generally the way it's balanced is that like you have the 2, 3, 4, and 5 power minions, and you have more of the 2 power, and obviously they have a weaker ability, and then like the 3 power is a better ability, and the 4, and then that kind of thing. So you can use the robot armor, which you have 4 of, to copy the ability of your stronger minions. It was neat. I actually think that was a really good gimmick, which was entirely by accident, because I just wanted to make something that fit the character, and the fact that I made an interesting ability was completely by mistake, which is funny. And it also didn't mesh with their like extract VP early and then get the fuck out of their theme, like at all. So that was kind of disappointing that the most interesting card was just like kind of not even intended. But again, you know, sometimes you take those, right? And it's just, okay, yep, that was just not a mechanic that was meant to be in this game. But yeah, like honestly, half the fun of it is trying to figure out how to make some stupid mechanic that's clearly not meant to be in this game work in this game. Because it's a pretty simple game at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't have a ton of... There's a slime. It doesn't have like a ton of like shit going on. You know, it's pretty... It does its thing, and then, you know, there you go. So I really enjoy it. What else? I'm trying to think of other, because we've made a number of these. I talked about Illbleed. I talked about Waluigi. I talked about Mettaton. Ooh, I did one for BattleBots, because, you know, I super like BattleBots. And my idea for a BattleBots gimmick was that, you know, normally you would have all the minions... You'd have 4 copies of a 2-power minion, 3 copies of a 3-power minion. Yeah, that is always really impressive when you can make a whole bunch of different... A bunch of different guys with you know, distinct play styles, where, because, you know, they already have a set that is good at like moving your guys around, so they could make a second set that's good at moving your guys around. But it's like, well, okay, but how's that different from the other one that does that? And you know, if the answer is it's really not, then, you know, what's the point of the second one? We've already got one that does that, right? So that's always a really impressive kind of balancing challenge. Oh, okay. Here is death. Let's not go that way. Shoop. But it does look like I can go this way. Yeah, that's true too. Is did you design the game originally expecting to add more stuff to it? Like, did you design it in a way where, you know, it's modular, right? You can add stuff to it, or is it designed in a way where it's really... like, it works like this, and that's how it works, and that's all you get? I would appreciate if this guy would not be here. Problem solved. I mean, you gotta think there's something good down here, right? Because there's a random hole. I'm pretty sure that you are a bot. But thank you for the compliments, bot. What was I on about? Which one was I talking about? We did... Oh yeah, my BattleBots one. So normally you would have 3, like 4 2-power minions, 3 3-power minions, 2 4-power minions, and 1 5-power minion. Ow. That's like, you know, the best one. And they do have a couple that play with that. But like generally, that's kind of the vibe. So they have done one. Now they've done 2, where you have, instead of that, because that adds up to 30 power total. Instead of that, you have 6 5-power minions, and the rest of your deck is actions. And then they also have done... They've done one where all the minions are 2-power, but also that set's just really bad. They don't give you extra guys to compensate, so you're just playing very weak. I say this, they did release a Titan that kind of fixed it, which I'm baffled by, but that's neither here nor there. And they've done one that is all the minions are 4-power, and you have, I think, like 8 of them. But they had never done one where all the minions are 3-power. And so I was thinking with my BattleBots thing, ow, that... You know, all the robots have the same weight limit, so they should be all the same power. And the font that I happened to pick to do the cards in did not have numbers in it, it only had letters. But if you take the letter E, capital, and mirror it, then you have a 3. So I can still make the number 3, even with my limited resources. So what if I made them all 3-power? So that was kind of my idea. So the BattleBot set has... Oh, I think we just blocked this off. Oh, hey, what's up? Ow. You know what? Let's just put the barricade here. Problem solved. And light this up. And then here we go. I knew it was around here somewhere. Orange wool, let's go. I want that though. Give me. Yeah. So I went through the current, like the show as it was at the time. This was several years ago, and you know, I think I ended up pulling like 20 robots and making like abilities for all of them. So the idea was going to be that. Interesting. Yeah, I get that a ton, where it's like, this is such a... a lot of the earliest themes in Smash Up are really cool. Like, there's like a Pirates one and like a Zombies one and stuff. And some of them really struggle now due to like power creep. And it's like, I would genuinely not mind if you guys would just like make Pirates just again. And just like beef them up, you know? I think that could be really interesting to just... Like, yeah, okay, these guys are showing their age a little bit. What if we just like Pirates 2, you know? I don't know what about. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. That can be. You hate to see it, right? Anyway, so I think I took like 20 robots from the show and like made abilities for all of them. Where it's like, okay, this one's like a flipper robot, so its ability is gonna be like move a minion to another base, right? And like this one's like a a big scary spinner one, so it's gonna be like destroy a minion, right? That kind of thing. This one's known for being really fast, so it's gonna be it's got a talent to move itself to another base. I don't know, that kind of thing. And for one thing, one thing that I do like about that is that. Even so, it has a lot of destroy card power because like they're battle bots, obviously, but they're not like all in on destroy, and they can do a lot of varied things. But it doesn't feel like incoherent, if that makes sense. Like it still feels like they kind of go together, which I'm pretty happy with. But one thing I'm not pretty happy with is that because I did this forever ago, all the robots are really old, and half the shit is like, why does this one have this really good ability? It doesn't even like compete anymore. It's not even good. And it's like, well, I gave it that ability because it had been in one fight at the time I made it, and it won that one, so I thought it was good. I don't know. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but just I didn't have feature vision. You hate to see it. Give me mushrooms. You hate to see it. Turns out that the guy that I gave like destroy a minion, like just destroy a minion period anywhere whatever, it turns out he's actually not very good. He's like, oh well, this sucks. Oh well. Why do I have 9 iron? I meant to get 3. You go in there. Oh, we can monument it up. Let's get the chest on. Mushrooms. 2 red and 1 brown. Oh, more brown coming. Amazing. Let's go. Let's superify those. Me when I soup. And then this one's leather, so leather that. Why was I talking about this set? Oh yeah. So that's the kind of thing I make where it's like, this is like a fun idea, but it's got a couple of like fairly major problems. Like usually the ones my brother makes both work a little bit better and are just like kind of cooler. But that also could be kind of the problem where it's just like I want to just like shit on my own stuff and say it's not good, It definitely could be to do with that as well. All right, orange wool, wabamo, and I'm gonna put that in the chest. And then iron block, wabamo, and sleep. Give me a second. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and then we'll come back and do more of this shit. Just a mo. Yeah, a lot of the time, our design process for these Smash Up sets is like, I want to make a Smash Up set themed on Mettaton. What kind of gimmick could Mettaton possibly have in this card game? It's like, well, he's very egocentric. What if his gimmick was that he powered up minions that are named Mettaton? And it's like, okay, that's mad funny. Do that. So, a lot of the time, the coming up with what the set will be themed on is, wouldn't it be funny? Hang on, my music stopped. You know, it'd be, wouldn't it be funny if there was a set themed on X? It's like, yeah, that would be pretty funny. What should it do? I don't have a goddamn clue what it should do. That kind of thing. Alright, so this will be for iron. I feel like I ought to start labeling some of these. Let's do that. Okay, so up and down. Up is wood. Down is leather. Up is rails. Down is minecarts. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And then ever so often, it is just like a, one thing that happens a lot is like, you draw power, like being able to draw cards. Yeah, because you wanna, when you have an interesting theme, you wanna like stick to the theme. Like if you didn't have if you're not gonna stick to the theme, why are they themed anyway, right? But having to stick to the theme makes it way harder to, give them abilities, right? So like one thing that comes up a lot is, being able to draw cards is a good thing, right? At this point, most sets have some way to draw additional cards, and if they don't, generally they are not very good sets, So almost any set that we design is like, you're gonna need some kind of card draw mechanic, and not every set can have a fun and interesting card draw mechanic. Sometimes you just gotta be, here's a card that just fucking says draw 2 cards, which is like not that interesting. And then when you need to do that, that means you need to use one of your cards on a draw card, right? So like in the Illbleed set, let's see, really easy to add really weird granular. Yeah, absolutely, is like you can really tweak them and get like something that really like cooks hard, but it's super tricky to. And if you over or undercook it, then it's like, well, now you're in trouble. Right? I need to go back and fill this back in. Oh, let me go get the glass as well. I was going to put more chests. I kind of think this should just be a window, actually, though. I think that would be sick. Let me dig these out so that when it floods, it doesn't flood my entire house. There we go. Okay, that doesn't work with the torch because the water's there. What was I on about? I was on some stupid shit. Oop. Yeah, absolutely. And just like commitment to the bit almost, right? Like, if I'm making these guys Mettaton themed, damn it, all of their cards are going to be Mettaton themed. And they're going to, that kind of thing, right? Like, if you're not going to commit to the bit, then just don't theme them. We like one that came up was in the Illbleed set. So the different minions are the various bosses in the game. That is cool. So one of the bosses is Trent, who is a tree, like an animatronic tree kind of thing that like might be haunted, maybe. It's a little hard to say. And Trent's ability originally, as designed, was something to do with like not being able to move minions from base where Trent was, because like the roots like come up and catch you, which is like a mechanic in the boss fight. But it turned out that number one, that wasn't very useful, and number two, Illbleed really desperately needed ways to draw more cards. So we just like had to kind of bite the bullet and be like, all right, Trent, your ability is talent, draw a card. I'm sorry to do this to you, buddy, but we really need to draw cards power. Like that kind of thing, right? Where it's like, this is kind of lame, but we have to do it. But exactly, like it didn't feel like elegant or anything. It was like, all right, they need more draw cards. Trent's ability is not good. Fuck it. That kind of thing. More of a desperation play than anything. But you get stuff like that where it's like, okay, they really need. I feel like a lot of the official Into the Breach sets do that, where one guy is just there because they needed, you know, XYZ, whatever it is, and it doesn't really fit the theme or anything, but it's just like, yeah, if they didn't just have a guy who just does damage, then why are you mad at me? It's sunny out. Die. Like, if they don't have just a guy that just does damage, then like they're not gonna they're not any good, or you know, whatever it might be, right? I did think that a lot of the Toss X ones did a much better job with that, where all three of the squad members all felt like sort of, you know, unique and fit the squad, but also had their role on it. So I was really impressed to see that. Why did I take off my armor and then not make new armor? What was the idea there? Also, what time is it? It's 10:18. We're good. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you again for the recommend on those, because I am not big in like modding scenes for like most games, so I would have completely missed those, but it's been a blast playing them. I probably should wait to fill this back in till I'm done renovating, but like, fuck it. One of my favorite ideas we had that didn't quite work out was to do a Gravity Falls, because we were going to do a Gravity Falls theme set, and then we were going to do a Bill Cipher theme set, and like, you know, they'd be like, you know, you get both of them, right? And the Gravity Falls set was, you know, like all the main characters and stuff, right? I should not be trying to walk over those lips like that while I can't jump. That's just a really bad idea. If I fail one, I'm going to die. I think that is fair, but I also think, like you said, it's extremely impressive that it's like, okay, if there was one that's like a little clunky, you know, like, yeah, the fact that there's only one that's even clunky is like, that's incredible, right? And so the Gravity Falls set was going to be themed on drawing cards, basically. They're going to be good at drawing cards. And it turns out that being able to draw a lot of cards is extraordinarily strong. Like, that is ridiculously good. So, they were a little bit busted. Yeah, exactly. It's you expect that from the vanilla game, but the rest of the Toss X stuff is so high quality. It's like, yo, you outdid you outdid yourself almost, right? But one card I really liked was a Grunkle Stan's card. He was a 4-power minion. I think you got 2 of him, but you might have only gotten 1. It had the ability that so normally there is a hand limit of 10 cards. Stan's ability was ongoing. While Stan's on the field, you do not have a hand limit, which I thought was super funny because it fits with him like cheating at like card games and stuff. But yeah, it turns out being able to draw a lot of cards. That was not actually like busted. It's just being able to draw that many cards gives you so many options for what to do that they were also themed on like discarding cards to do things. So it'd be like you draw a shitload of cards and then you have to like discard a bunch of them to do whatever. But because you could draw so many, that didn't matter, more or less. So I think eventually we could have figured out how to like get it balanced, but it's too much work. But so Stan was one of my favorite cards in that set because of his. You can just cheat while he's on the field, which I think is really funny. And the other card I really like was the action Stan Bucks, which that's the I forget what he was trying to do with the Stan Bucks, but it's like when he makes like his own like currency, he has to pay someone in or whatever. And what Stan Bucks does is it's an action where its ability is special. Once per turn, while this action's in your discard pile, you may place it in your hand. So, playing Stan Bucks does not do a damn thing. But you can put it back in your hand from the discard pile. So if you have to discard a card, you can get Stan Bucks and discard it as one of the cards you discard. And I think that is so funny to have a card that's entire point is it's completely worthless, but it's renewably worthless. And you can get it back and then not use it again. I really like that one. I think there were a lot of good ideas, but yeah, it was too good. Or I say a lot of good ideas, a lot of really fun ideas. One thing I love doing, like to a fault, is coming up with a card ability that sounds completely useless and then trying to figure out a scenario where that ability is not useless. So like imagine like you have a card that it's the ability is ongoing, this minion has 5 power, right? But it's already got like the 5 up in the corner, so like it's already got 5 power, so that ability does not do a single thing. So then the question is there any way I could make it useful to have a minion who's 5 power and has the ability this minion has 5 power? Right? And we had a loose idea for that where the set gimmick was going to be the ability to sort of trade the abilities around among your minions. So like in theory you could trade the ability that says this minion has 5 power over to a weaker guy, and then you give the 5 power guy the other guy's, and then like that kind of thing. But trying to figure out how to actually make that work was like way too much work. We didn't bother, but I think it's a funny idea. But yeah, a distressing part of my coming up with ideas stage is come up with really, really bad ability. How could I make that ability useful? Or obviously it wasn't mine, it was my brother's, but what about a card that says ongoing, this minion is named Metaton? Could we make that useful? Is there a way to use that? That kind of thing. I think that's super fun. But yeah, I was just thinking about this because we're talking about like Into the Breach modding and stuff, and I was like, hey, actually, a lot of this is fairly similar to Smash Up custom deck making. Also, I just flooded my base and got rid of all those torches I just placed. That was a little bit of a misplay. Little bit of a misplay. Beep boop. Give me those back. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, no, I want to knock these out. I don't quite know how deep I'm making this room. I'm just like, I need more room for stuff. So, might as well embiggen the room, right? Oh, I can use the torch trick on these guys. There, me when I get you. Yeah, we actually, my brother and I we've had very vague, loose discussions about, like, what if we just made our own card game instead of cribbing off of this existing one, right? And then the problem we run into is, for one thing, designing a whole ass card game is a lot of work, and a lot more work than designing 20 cards for an existing card game, right? And number two, it's also a bit like, if we did design our own game, except it was more or less, it was just off-brand Smash Up, then, like, what would be the point, more or less, right? We kind of had this really loose idea to more or less do Smash Up, except instead of putting 2 decks together, you put 3 decks together, and each deck would be like 15 cards instead. So it's like, okay, well, what's the upshot is, I don't know. We could make more themes, I guess. And kind of had a loose idea where, since we were running into the issue a lot with, like, every set just needs to have a draw some cards card, that in hypothetical 3-deck Andy game, there would just be like a standard distribution of like 10 cards that everyone just gets. So, like, when you make your deck, you would pick like 2 factions, and then also just like you just get, I don't know, 10 cards that are just kind of generic. And then in the 10 generic cards, you can have your draw 2 cards, you can have your, like, okay, here's a big beefy guy, so you have at least one, like that kind of thing. And then the faction cards could be like all in on interesting stuff, and not have to sort of give this sort of like draw cards, kind of staple cards and things. Which I think is a neat idea, but I do kind of feel like, you know, obviously, so one thing, we have to design a lot of cards, it would be a lot of work. And 2, forcing every player, like every time you play the game, you have to use a bunch of generic cards is like kind of lame. Because, you know, you play the game to use the funny zombie cards or whatever. And now you're telling me that I got to use generic big guy. Like, I don't want to do that shit. So, I think it's not the worst idea I've ever had in my life, but it's also, like, not the best. I think it's solidly down the middle. And also with making the decks, because if we were going to include sort of generic cards in the deck, I think I put sand back here. Yep. Then by necessity, the themed faction cards, those deck, either they could still be faction decks of 20 cards, and then you just play with more cards in the deck, or you know, the faction decks would be smaller, and then you play with like 40, right? Spontaneous idea generation is so hard. It's really difficult. So, you know, it's like, okay, do we want to make it so that you know, you play with less cards, and just every deck has, because if you only get 15 faction cards instead of 20, then you get less faction cards per faction, and those are the fun themed ones that, like, you want to use. So, like, that kind of blows. Is like, okay, you know, we've made Smash Up, but it's less interesting, right? So, like, you know, what's the point of that? Or if it's the case of, like, okay, well, just every deck is just going to be, you know, all the decks will be 50 cards instead of 40. It's like, okay, well, now it's that much harder to draw your good cards, right? Like, you know, there's a reason that there's a maximum deck size, right? So, oh, I guess I need to fill this back in too. We used to do this game where me and my brother would both get sets of like images, you know, like just whatever. Like one that I did was well, one that my friend did was just like a bunch of different pictures of trains, and then so you get like 20-30 images, and I would just hand them to my brother and be like, here you go, you have half an hour, make a smash-up set out of these images. And so we would trade, you know, and then both try to make a deck. And that was a lot of fun as like idea generation practice, if that makes sense. Because like you said, it's hard to just come up with shit, you know? So I thought that was a really good like creative exercise to just sort of practice just coming up with shit. Though unfortunately, most of what we did actually come up with is either, you know, wildly unplayable for some reason, or just not that good, and a lot of the time not that fitting of the theme. Where it's like, you know, you gave me these cards, I couldn't think of what to do with them, so I made it, you know, you gave me cards from this show, I've never seen the show, so I just kind of guessed which characters were important, and I that kind of thing. One that was really good was when he gave me a bunch of screenshots from, you know, the SpongeBob episode where they with the hash slinging slasher, Graveyard Shift, I think it's called. He just gave me a bunch of screenshots from Graveyard Shift. It's like, all right, make a deck out of these. And I feel like I came up with a really cool idea where you have various cards that are I invented a new sort of subtype of action cards, which is not, they've done that before. They have one set that uses wraiths as like a subtype of an action card. Anyway, so I invented my own subtype of action cards that was omens. And once you played enough omens, you got to summon the hash slinging slasher. I thought that was a fantastic idea, but it was a little bit clunk in the execution, just sort of by, you know, by necessity, since I was working with a single episode worth of screenshots. But we haven't done that in a while, mostly because neither of us can think of anything to send images of anymore. But now that I mentioned that, I should grab some index cards and throw together the hash slinging slasher set and just try it out, because that's like mad funny. Oh, yeah, that's where I was going with it. The most recent expansion, I believe, that they've done adds... It does another thing where it adds a gimmick, but only one guy does the gimmick, so it's like, what's the point? With a new thing called stasis counters. And stasis counters are a feature... Hey! I was yammering about the card game Smash Up, because I really like that game. Oh, iron. And I was embiggening my my base, so here's what we're looking at now. I've got this cool window that looks out into the ocean, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, it's a Smash Up. It's a card game, and the basic premise is, like I said, I don't know why this game quite clicked with us as much as it did, but like, wow. It really clicked. It is a game that I find that the optimal number... I can explain the game in just a mo. The optimal number of players to play with, in my humble opinion, is 3 players. And obviously there's me and my brother, which is 2 of us. So we don't get to like play it that often. But I just like it a lot. Okay, so the basic concept of this game... It is a card game, and when you get the game, you get a bunch of 20 card decks with like themes. So there's like one for like zombies, and there's one on like ninjas, and there's one on like pirates and all this stuff. And what you do is you take 2 of these, they're called factions, so you take 2 factions and shuffle the 2 decks together. So you can play like zombies and pirates, or you can play like ninjas and wizards, or whatever. And me and my brother like this game a lot, and they've done there's a crap ton of expansions for it where they add new decks and stuff. And you know, some are hits, some are misses. That's just how it goes. I was looking for leather is what I was doing. But my brother and I have tried our hand at, you know, designing sets to play with, and the balancing issues are really interesting because for something like this, you don't want... I think part of why I like the game so much is it kind of scratches the same itch of like a collectible card game, but without the part where you have to go and like buy all the cards and stay on top of the meta and all this stuff. So, yeah. Put the glass away, we don't need that. Put that away. I want to get, I think it's 10 pieces of iron. And then I'll have like stacks of iron. Was iron up here? Yeah, there it is. I need 10 more iron. That's what I was yammering about. The most recent expansion, I believe, was one that has a bunch of movie parodies. So there's Action Heroes, which is like kind of a general action hero thing. That's one of the 2 sets where it only has 5 power minions. It has 6 of them instead of the usual 10 of various power. Anyway, one of the 4 is themed on legally distinct Back to the Future. And it adds a new mechanic called stasis counters, where basically when you put a stasis counter on one of your cards, like you play the card, and then it'll say like put 2 stasis counters on this card, or it'll say like put 2 stasis counters on a card from your discard pile, some of that. And so when you put stasis counters on a card, it's sort of like it like goes on the table and not like on a base or anything. It's just kind of floating there. And every turn at the start of your turn, you get to take off one of the stasis counters. And then once it has no more stasis counters, you can just play it. And it doesn't consume like one of your plays for the turn. Which is a pretty neat mechanic. The Back to the Future set really only uses it on their own guys. So it'll be something like, you know, look through your deck, pick a card, reveal it, and then put 2 stasis counters on it. So it's like, okay, you'll get to play any card you want 2 turns from now. That kind of thing. But they don't have any way to put stasis counters on an opponent's card. So my brother and I were kicking around ideas to make a offensive stasis counter set that would be like, all right, you know, take another player's minion, put a stasis counter on it, and it just kind of, like, it doesn't get rid of them and like destroy them. It just kind of kicks them down the road a little bit. And I think that'd be really funny. Some of the mechanics the stasis counters have, I think I've run out of... No, we still have music. Don't really play nice with this idea. Like, you're supposed to, like, if the minion had, like, an action played on it, and then you put it in stasis, it would go away. Although, the rules don't really address what would happen, because you're not supposed to be able to do that, like, at all. So we kind of have to fudge some things to make it work. But I think it'd be very funny. I thought I was not going to take damage from that fall. Whoops. Give me these. Anyway, so all that to say, have you ever seen or heard of the show Taskmaster? It's a UK comedy show. Give me more rails. And then minecarts. Oh, no, give me the minecarts with chest. And then I get the... Yeah, there we go. It's a UK comedy show where they have... Yeah, basically they have like 5 comedians will come on and they'll assign them a bunch of random tasks to do. And it'll be shit like why can't I think of an example? Move all the water from this bucket to that bucket without touching the bucket. Like this kind of thing. Fastest time wins, that thing. And then like whoever does the best, they get 5 points, and there's like a whole show of it and stuff. And a lot of the comedy is just from just doing ridiculous things, but taking it very seriously because you're going to get scored on it. So it's like, I have to be the best at moving water from this bucket to that bucket without touching the bucket, right? Our idea for a theme for the offensive stasis counter set was going to be Taskmaster themed, where the idea is that the Taskmaster is telling the other player's minion to go do some task, and that's what the stasis counters represent, is the time that they're spending, you know, counting all the beans in a can of beans or some shit. And I think that's a really funny way of theming it. But we haven't, other than we should do an offensive stasis counter set, what if it was Taskmaster themed? We have not thought about this like at all. I just think that's an extremely funny way of contextualizing the stasis counters. Alright, slap a rail down. Rails go in here. Let's move these down so there's room for all the new ones. Doop, doop. And then put these down. In the modern version of this game, if I broke a minecart with chest, it would just give me a minecart with chest. But because we're back in the prehistoric times, it gives me the chests. You'll love to see it. So I do this, and then we need to knock these out. And then one goes back here, fill that. And I want a furnace and a crafting table for that set up there. Here's a furnace. There's a crafting table. It's a pretty fun show. One thing that's really cool about Taskmaster is that they have a lot of their episodes are just on YouTube. Just from their official channel. Like, not like, oh, someone has re-uploaded all the episodes to YouTube, but just they just put them up there so you can just watch it, like, whatever. So I think that's really cool, is that they're just like, fuck it, just watch the show. Whatever. Where's my iron? There you are. Great. Let's get some of this cooking. There's 8 coal. We can use that. Here's 16. We can use that. Here's 64. We can use that. Oh, mushroom. Throw 8 in there. Oh, this lever. I built. There's a mushroom farm behind here. And this lever makes it flood with water, which will push all the mushrooms out and I can collect them. Looks like we made 1 mushroom. Very good. I mean, it's actually not bad. We've got 2 and 2 now. Let's make some more soup. Oh, this is boss 2. I really like this one. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers most of my smash up game design rambling. I was thinking earlier that would be a fun thing to yap about, since we both like to do game design balancing kind of stuff, and appreciate, like, okay, this is a neat mechanic but it doesn't really work, versus this is a neat mechanic and it does work. and like appreciating like commitment to a theme versus like making the individual elements work versus committing to the theme overall and making that work, all that kind of stuff. Oop. Let's see, I need more furnaces, more crafting tables. Oh, I should go chop some trees. There is absolutely no reason to have this many crafting tables. It doesn't, it doesn't make me craft faster. It doesn't do nothing. It is just for symmetry. Ooh, mushroom. I do like to not make chests and just kind of try to recover them instead. I think I've mentioned it before. In college, I did a bunch of game design classes. Like, technically, I my degree was computer science game design focus or whatever. But the majority of what I picked up was I don't really like making games. So I don't do it. But the and part of this, like I mentioned, like, I really like game soundtracks. If I made a game, I would want to have a banging soundtrack. I am not capable of making a banging soundtrack. So, but yeah, the I really like thinking and talking like game design and or like set design or just like whatever, right? Like, how do I make these cards work together? How do I make these giant robots work together to to play interestingly and do the things I want them to do, but not do them too well, right? Let's fill that back in. There we go. I can't remember if any of the other islands that are floating around have little docks like this one does. We can do dungeon 3. Oh, I know what we can do. I know what we can do. First, we can knock down all these trees. And then I would like it if it wasn't nighttime, but it's workable even if it is. Don't need a new shovel yet, but also don't not need. Also, almost just walked off the edge like an idiot. Let's not do that. I could certainly stand to make a new shovel and pickaxe, so might as well. I forgot to dig this tree fully. Let's take that out. If I did make a game, I have a couple of ideas of like what it would be, you know. One option is Into the Breach, but a little bit worse. I say a little bit, but like significantly worse, you know. One option is desktop dungeons, but a bit worse, and like take out the mechanics I don't like, and you know maybe make it cooler. One option is completely unrelated. It's like a sort of crafting puzzle thing. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything with that. But we played this one board game that I didn't really care for. But I liked the sort of basic idea. I just didn't like how they did it at all. So it's the kind of thing where it's like, I would love to take this sort of idea. I genuinely don't even remember the name of it. But it was like you had these little recipes you could make, and it'd be like, you can turn one red cube into one blue cube. And I thought that part was really fun. But the, like the goal of the game was like, I had to make so many blue cubes that like I would pass them all to my brother, and he'd overflow with blue cubes and like blow up. And it was like, okay, all I'm doing here is giving you lots of blue cubes so that you can use them to turn back into red cubes and hit me with. It's like, my best move here would be to do absolutely fucking nothing and not give you anything. So, I wasn't super keen on that one. But I like the sort of general idea of you know, you have this recipe to turn blue cubes into red cubes, and you have this recipe that turns a red cube and a blue cube into a green cube. I don't think it was that, because I feel like I'd remember that name, but also I should check that game out, because if it involves that gameplay, maybe I'd like it. So, I'll try to remember that. There's some, you can see on the right side of the screen, there's some bullshit going on over there. We don't need to worry about that yet. Yeah, honestly, it felt like the kind of game that was ripping off something else and not doing it super well. So if that just is like, well, actually the game that they were ripping off is just, you know, this one, then just play that one and then job done, right? There's some bullshit going on the right. There's some bullshit going on over there. I'm looking for the spawn point. I don't remember where it is, though. I feel like I've gone completely the wrong way, is what I've done here. That kind of sounds like it, but it also kind of doesn't. Your general explanation there sounds like it doesn't have the stuff I thought didn't work in the other game. So yeah, actually that's absolutely what I'm going to put on my list to try it out. You can see a whole bunch of bullshit going on underneath right now. That's a dungeon. We'll do that later. I want to say there's 2 more dungeons floating around on this little starting island archipelago before we have to start sort of venturing out further to go do shit. This is the starting island, right? Back here. I think this is it. I should have brought a bed so I can skip the night. Okay. I need to... I don't have it, but my brother does. I wonder if I could, like, just borrow his account for a minute and be like, hey, I just quickly need to play this quack game. I'll give it right back to you afterwards. Dirt spotted. Let's go. Dirt acquired. Okay. So there is floating sand here, but it's just to get coal. I don't need coal. That's right. I think that would be I think that'd be pretty reasonable, you know? If I heard that, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. No problem. Is there anything over on that island? Is there dirt? It kind of looks like there's dirt right in the middle of that. And you know how I feel about dirt. I probably shouldn't be doing... I probably don't have enough blocks to make it. So this is probably a mistake doing this, but I'm already committed now. I know very briefly there was an online version of Smash Up. Like, not like a tabletop sim, but just like a standalone kind of client for Smash Up. But I think it only had like 4 sets in it, and it was not very good. So I don't think that ever went anywhere. Like, to the point I don't know why they bothered, you know? Maybe it was meant to be something more, and then they just kind of ran out of effort. I don't know. Yeah, I think I've heard of that too. This was like a... This thing I'm talking about now was like a... It was like a standalone, like, client thing, but... That's also not to say that... I'm sure there are a variety of ways to play this game, right? I'm really committed to this piece of dirt. This is not going to be worth it. That might not even be dirt. That might be the letter X. Are we there yet? 2, 3, 4... You know what? We're gonna use the wood. And it is just coal. Awesome. Oh no, it's a pitfall trap. Yeah, I feel like that's where Smash Up failed with their like launcher custom version of the game, was that even with as basic as it was at the time, there was just enough weird shit that could interact to make it really annoying to try to nail down all the restrictions. And you know, there's only gonna be more weird shit to add. Right, and that's the thing, is you just say, okay, oh, by the way, here's Dungeon 5, Hidden Sand. So I guess we're here now. This is concerning because, like we saw, the sand could be floating, so when I place a torch down, it just all falls and I die, which would be pretty pog. Yeah, I definitely feel like the best way... I feel like the best way for a lot of games is to just kind of go, fuck it. Here's a sandbox. But it does mean that, like, to play it, you have to already know how to play the game, right? Like, it can't have, like, a tutorial. Well, it could have a tutorial, maybe, with, like, some kind of custom scripting stuff. But, like, you're not going to get a tutorial... And you still have to do all the sort of manual, like, upkeep stuff manually, right? Like, let's fill this back in. I don't want stuff to jump scare me. Yeah, and like, I think they've got, like, a... I think we're out of music as well. Oh no, this song just doesn't, is just extremely quiet. Let's skip this one. Yeah, honestly, it's not the worst thing to just be like, all right, you just got to do the math yourself. Like, that's not a deal breaker. Because if I like playing the game in real life, I'm used to doing the math myself anyway. But it is a little bit like a yeah, true as well is that a lot of the time trying to make sure you don't have to do a whole bunch of bullshit. This looks safe and fun and I don't like this at all. Yeah, but it does feel like a little bit of a missed opportunity, right? When it's like, I have this game digitally, and I still have to do all the math myself. Like, the computer's right there. You should do it for me. But yeah, like, if I didn't want to, you know, if I couldn't stand playing the game, having to do all the math or whatever myself, like, I wouldn't like the game. So I do think that, okay, just fuck it approach is it's certainly viable. I'm kind of wasting these stairs since I'm using them in between. I should have come here with more blocks, I'm realizing. That's the impression I'm getting here, is that should have had more blocks. I did not realize I was going to be doing a dungeon. Is it nighttime? It is nighttime, okay. Well, I mean, we're here, so we might as well do it. How about you? And I can put a torch here to hold that. That kind of works. I could do that. So, like, we put a torch here, put sand on it, and then a slab, and then a torch here, and then sand on it, and then a slab. This is dumb as hell. Okay, good. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, that is so true, is that you don't have to buy all the bullshit to play the game. You just have the simulator and you say, I want to play this game, and then now you're playing it. That is massive as a plus for virtual board games, for sure. I think I don't need these ones because these are gonna do the job for me. So the first one of those is there. Yeah. So I don't need to be torching them anymore. But no, honestly, that's a huge benefit. And then it's also the kind of thing where it's like, okay, it turns out this game is actually super fun. I love it. At that point, you could just, you know, if you wanted to, you could just buy the physical game then, and then just have it to play. Like a demo, almost. I could borrow the redstone torches. You're so right. I'm more worried about running out of sand. But, you know, where am I going to get more sand in the fucking sandy islands? I'm probably going to run out of slabs, though, before we make it to the bottom. Good God, look at all that shit. If I had a lava bucket, this would be the perfect time to use a lava bucket. And just dump it all over these guys. But I do not have that. Though I do have enough iron to make a bucket. Maybe I should get on that. I could dump water on them instead. You're absolutely right. In theory, that could actually help by sort of pushing them away from, like if I pour the water in one corner, right, and then it sort of flows, it would push the guys away from that particular corner, which like wouldn't be. Oh, okay, well, that sandstone was important apparently. So sort of pushing them into a more convenient location is not the worst idea ever. And then let me get this, and let me get this, and then knock these out, and put this back. How many guys are on this island? Okay, it looks like just some guys spawned out in the water. Also, there's more dirt. Nice. And 2 pitfall traps. At the very least, we successfully acquired dirt, which is pretty good. Also, it'd be very easy to pour water on these guys because I could just like knock out the sand and then pour the ocean on them, which would go pretty hard. And slab and sandstone and slab and sandstone. Yeah, I think I'm about to run out of slabs though. We still didn't make it all the way down. We're nearly there. Let's see if we can see how bad it is down there. It's not great, is it? Can I get some of these guys? Me when I get you. Oh, he's trying to get me, isn't he? I think that's a spider spawner. Ooh! You're a genius. And then, once I do that, I'll have an extra crafting table ready for when I expand my base and need another crafting table for symmetry. Brilliant. Alright, here's one. And here's one. And here's one. No, that's the stairs. Okay, we gotta go back outside. I don't have enough in here. We gotta get them off of the bridge. Ow. Well, that jump scared me. You could tell because I fucked with the camera. Maybe when I kill you. Ooh. It's almost not night anymore. There. That wood's gone. Give me that. And give me that. Okay, and then we can crafting table. And then make some slabs. And then let's take the crafting table with us. I genuinely did not realize this dungeon was here. I completely forgot about this one. Oh, this needs a torch. That needs a torch. There we go. Also, I definitely don't want to fall down the center because that would I would definitely die. All right, and then we can continue going down until right here. Ow. Ow. Who's getting me? That guy is. Ow. There. Got him. Let's grab some sandstone from the wall here. Because that's convenient. And this block here to put a slab there. And then block here. And slap there. And block there. There's a creeper. Can I me when I get you from here? Can I reach? Let's get a torch there and get one on the spawner. Let's kill these guys. Me when I get you. Slab there. Block here so I don't fall in the cobwebs. Let's break this. I've got a good angle on it from here. There. Let's block the doors so that guys can't get in. There we go. I don't remember this dungeon at all. I have no idea what we're doing. Probably I don't want to get too committed without having... I should probably go pick up some more blocks so that I can kind of block off the passageways I don't want to go down. Also, should get more music. Was that all of Terraria? Yep, that was all of Terraria. Okay. It's kind of getting late. This will do. And bacon. Block that off. Block that off. And onward, there's a guy. Me when I get you. Me when I get you. Me when I get you. That's just a hole. And me when I get you. Is there anything in here? What's going on? There's nothing there. Okay, good. Ah, here is a spawner. Let's knock this out. Now there's a mysterious hole. And the only thing to do when you find a mysterious hole is just jump the fuck in. There is a little pathway. Let's kill this guy though. Ah, there's a second one. There's a lot of guys down there. There's a number of those. There's a number of guys. What if we do this? And then I can go down here. Although at this point I'm running out of torches. I could go recover torches, like you were saying, from... I could swap some of my torches holding up the sand to the redstone torches. But I kind of feel like that's not worth it. I went one block too low as well. Can we at least peep out? What are we looking at here? What's going on? I can't tell. We'll have to come back here later with more supplies. I think I might have just lucked into the right route through the maze, though, which is pretty convenient. Like, is there more stuff around? Nope, it's just spiders. Block that off. Up and over the roots here. Will it still be daytime? So that I can leave without dying. We'll find out. Oh, sick! Oh, I had 15 torches. Where'd these come from? Fuck this, we're going back in. When did I get 15 torches? I'll probably call it after I use the 15 torches. Oop, that was dodgy. For tonight. Have you made more changes, or is it just playing the same stuff, just more? Yeah, that's fair. It's ow. Freeing up stream slots is it's hard work, because it's like there's all this stuff I want to do, and I can only do it so many times, you know. I'm really burning through tools here as well. There's so many of these guys. Let's get the sandstone. Ow. How can they hit me? You don't fit through the little hole. Doop. Doop. Okay, there we go. Yeah, actually, that's true. I think it's been a minute since I've seen it anyway. So is this another sort of test run for new stuff, or is it more of just kind of feel like playing it kind of scenario? Doop. Come on. Another little pillar. Doing the little switchback design I'm doing here keeps the spiders from being able to fit through. Is the idea. And then, let's see. Doing pillars like this, same idea, keep the spiders from fitting through. Zombie. Oh, fair enough, fair enough. I don't feel like there's any reason to go that way. I feel like all the excitement's this way. I feel like I'm gonna run out of sandstone as well, but okay, let's go get more sandstone. I'm still in it. 7 torches, we still got it. Yeah, the pillar strategy is working really well here to keep the spiders away. So let's keep doing that. I think I just ran out of Atomic Express. I'm just gonna put that on again. I like Atomic Express. Hey, what's up? And pillar there, pillar there, pillar there. Keep moving. Okay, well there's something in this direction. Is it something I want? Oh no, it's a mysterious hole. I guess that's another way into this sort of downstairs area. So if this is just another entrance, ow, eat the soup. Then did I might have blocked over the place I was supposed to go. Or there could just be nothing down here anyway. Like this could just be all a bunch of bullshit. Anything is possible when you're John Super Hostile. Yeah, that's awesome. I know you've been doing a lot of that. I'm out of pickaxe as well now. It's not back here, is it? Because it looks like there's shit all back here. Is there some reason I would want to go back here? Let's just slam a torch back there. Okay, let's get out of here. We'll have to figure out the mysteries of this one later, because I don't have a clue what's going on. You are so right. But my concern with the no pickaxe is I can't get more sandstone, so I can't make more pillars. Which is my predominant cheese strat. to keep the spiders away is that pillaring kind of thing. So without that, you know, I'm worthless. Right? What do I have if not for the pillars? Good, it's still daytime though. Let's see. Not for long. Okay, we need to get schmovin'. So one thing I need to do is craft more slabs. so I can get back on my bridge, because I can't, the bridge is too high and I can't reach it. Doop. And now we need to haul some ass back over to where the boat is. Which is also interesting. It's on the other side of this hill. I could dig sand to make more sandstone, to make more slabs. Let's see if we can just go around. Yeah, that clears it. That clears it. Okay, there's nothing here. I was just checking. Thought there might be something here. It turns out not the case. There's not anything there. Water there. Zombies over there. Bait them into the water. There you go. And then slab here, up and over the roots. And around trees without crashing. Alright. Let's get out of here. Now the question is just, can I get back to the Victory Monument without something breaking my boat? So that's going to be the final hurdle. It's over there, I can tell because there's a billion torches. I think I go in here. Oh, there's a chest. Remember, okay, so you remember for next time, there's a chest out on this island. I want to get it. Hopefully this is the right way. Because I did block off one way. So hopefully this is not the way that was blocked. Swing this way. There's my house. It's down there. Perfect. That's exactly what that's just what I needed. Okay, so this was the wrong way, but we can still get there. On this very treacherous little walkway. There is a creeper up and over the roots over there. Creeper spotted. I think we can avoid. There we go. Dodged. We did it. Let's freaking go. Yeah, so Tuesday next week is going to be a Flash game called Tile Factory that I've been wanting to play. I think that's going to be a one-stream Andy kind of game. So I don't see Tile Factory taking up a lot of slots. But I've been wanting to play that. And then after that, you know, who knows. I could see it running for 2 if it gets really hard at the end, but I don't think it will. I played the first handful of levels myself because I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm ever going to actually find time to play this. Let me just play it. And I played the first handfuls. Actually, I really like this. So I changed my mind and I'm going to do it. And after that, who knows? We are running out of Atomic Express again, though. I think that's going to do it for today. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Have a good one. Have an Impossible Game Challenges Day daily. Oh, we don't like this guy anymore. This is funny. In the modern version of Minecraft, where it has these little splash text, I believe they've actually gotten rid of this one. Because we don't like him anymore. I think this is only in this old-ass version. That's funny. Alright, see ya.